What I'd like to talk about is this. Oh, look, you see this right here? I want to talk about iDubbbz girlfriend a little bit. Is this real? Did somebody AI this?
Yeah. No, that's real.
No, he had it. He had it in a bad unboxing.
I ain't touching one of those things. I'm sorry, I ain't doing it.
You know who's got one?
Who's got one?
Joe Jangles.
Real Gluck. Let me know how that goes first. This bimbo, who did a podcast about 2 weeks ago, right? Calling out commentary YouTubers and all that other happy horse shit. With him, and then she went like berserk on one of her streams.
Yeah.
Assumptions. Like, just out of pocket. I don't know. I know a lot of them have never worked a real job. I know that for a fact. And if you have, you worked there for a week and you cried and you quit.
Yeah. Like that bitch Rusty.
That's the other thing that a lot of these people assume is that I never worked a real job. But I didn't get on the internet until I was 21. I had to pay for my own I was in college working like a fucking serving job. Okay? I was doing both. I had 4 to 5 classes a semester, and then I would go work a serving job. Okay? And before that, I worked at a pet store and a Dairy Queen. Because I function in society. And then I got lucky, right? I got lucky and I started making money on the internet, so I quit.
Well, at least
I've been
luck and not talent.
Yeah.
Working.
She's just trying to sound humble.
I had been working since I was like 12. No, I'm not even kidding. 12 years old, because in Canada at the time, I don't know if now, but at the time, if your parents sign you can sign something, you can work. I worked at a movie theater when I was a kid. But you fuckers that are looking at this right now, I know that you would fucking cry if I...
Dairy Queen, we fired her in a week. The pet store told her she plans the parakeets.
I said something to you in real life. I know you would cry. How do I know?
And then be like, no, you got to do it this way, that way. And I'm like, person's like, I've been working here 3 years, bitch. I know.
Oh, because I've done it to one of you fuckers in real life, and you have cried. You cried and apologized to me, and you even said that I made you...
Never apologized to her. Rusty cut his head off because of this. It's terrible.
Yeah.
This lawyer, the shakedown lawyer, used a commentary video, okay, that insinuated, I have to be very careful with my words here because this person will say technically they didn't say that, insinuated that we pocketed money. Insinuated that we didn't actually lose money, okay? Insinuated that it only costs $100,000 to run an event like this, which is not true, okay? This is in the millions. This event costs in the millions to run.
You weren't going to raise in the millions. There goes right there. You know, you're a comedy. You were never going to raise millions of dollars. So if you're spending millions of dollars, you can't get it back.
You had a big ass party. Like you gave all these people free hotel. Like you spent all this fucking money.
And personal trainers,
yeah.
right?
Isn't it weird that some lawyer started sniffing around trying to figure out if this was all in the up and up? No, just turned out everybody's stupid. Okay, I'll go now.
I'm not kidding. It's fucked up. Okay? And that all is our responsibility. We took that on because we wanted to do something fun and cool and good for charity and whatever.
It's funny how fun and cool came before good for charity.
It is a very expensive event to run. There's a lot that goes on, okay? It's a huge thing. It's a 20,000 seat arena. Anyways, the lawyer used the YouTube video to say that this was proof that we were pocketing money. So,
I'm sure the lawyer didn't say that. I'm sure the lawyer asked the question that the video said.
Yeah.
Because where did he submit this proof to?
So the point that I was making with that clip that got taken out of context again, or like he just didn't understand what I was saying, is that we were in a shakedown lawsuit, and part of the reason why they thought that they could bark up our tree was because commentary YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a normal job. YouTubers have no idea what it is to...
Yeah, okay. So, as it turns out, get this, you're going to feel really stupid first. This was all an act.
Well, yeah, you could.
Yeah, it was an act. Bad
You
news,
didn't know
everybody. Anisa planned these clips that are being shared. We fell into her high IQ trap. So she was only pretending to be a moron. And then Bobak says, why did you delete the VOD then? Watch this.
You know, it's interesting because when I did the rant that like got clipped and shared by like a bunch of people, I did that intentionally to be like ranty and interesting and eye-catching and like I did.
No, you weren't having a complete breakdown and doing
I did the rant that like got clipped and shared by like a bunch of people. I did that intentionally to be like ranty and interesting and eye-catching and like I did it with the intention of like getting it shared.
Imagine that the iDubbbz crowd has to go through the commentary community to get the word out.
Wow. This is like when we found out that Hila came up with most of the H3H3 videos.
Shut the point, bitch.
Anisa was the mastermind of iDubbbz this whole time.
Rat Williams. Thank you, Rat Williams.
And it's interesting how like how predictable that is.
Oh yeah, she got us all.
I guess. And it's cool. It makes you feel like, okay, like this is more predictable than like you would imagine.
So what was the result you wanted? You wanted everybody to think you were fucking an idiot?
That it is?
Wow. That's amazing to me. Like she used the oldest, I was only pretending to be stupid. Here's what I think's going on here. I think iDubbbz is lazy. I think she thought she married the most powerful, interesting, talented YouTuber on the planet, only to find out he's a total dork that has IBS and track stains in his underwear. I think when she gave him probably the big idea to split his audience, like so many other famous YouTubers, like that Shadows asshole that we covered, and Quentin Reviews, and so many others that try to go woke, that nobody wanted to work with me after that. Not because they weren't woke, because all these guys project that horse shit to begin with. It's because he's lost his clout. And I'm pretty sure that this thing was a twofold thing for her. I'm going to make him woke, which will kill the money, and the money kills the influence. And it's tough to virtue signal about how much you care about charity when you can't raise any money for charity. When you're so stupid that you spend millions, which I don't believe, and expect a return in the multi-millions? What are you expecting to pull 10, 20, 30 million from that? From a bunch of guys that can't fight? This is how it works. You barely give them anything to fight. They get the clout from being there, and then you collect. And then supposedly send it out to...
They're doing the reverse, where they invest most of the money in making it a good time, making it enjoyable for the guests. The guests get training, make it a good show. And then you have the couple 100,000 afterwards that maybe gets donated. Cool.
Do you have a clip of that?
But nobody advertises that we spent more than we donated, because that's not...
I never knew iDubbbz married Elliot Page. I think that's it. I think she has figured out that he is past his prime. Because, like, who's going to work with him? Is Tommy Innit dying to work with iDubbbz? No, Tommy Innit is iDubbbz now.
Yeah.
You know, would like look at let's take somebody like Jimmy, right? Jimmy, who smartly avoids politics at every fucking turn he can, except when one of his guys goes trans, which he handled reasonably well, because he doesn't want to divide his audience.
This
Why would he want to work with iDubbbz now? Why would he ever want to work with iDubbbz? Why would he ever want to help iDubbbz? Fucking PewDiePie said the goddamn N-word. Stupidly. One of the stupidest N-words in like YouTube history. Right? And Ben Shapiro was willing to work with them. Jimmy was willing to work with them. Nobody wants iDubbbz anymore. And I think what you saw yesterday, you know, the thing where she all fooled us, so we'd all put it out there. Well, you know, we're like, it's so predictable. The commentary community covered me after I called them out. I can't believe I wasn't ignored like 100 sub YouTuber. You know?
Yeah.
I
mean, this is what happens when you get old in a young market and you have to reach for relevance.
They're all
right?
30.
So,
they're all in their 30s now too. It's
Yeah.
over. It's over. They're in a lot of ways. Is old. I'm pushing 50, and I'm more connected than they are to the audience. But I'm sure they just don't want to just get by like me. They want to make what they made before, but they can't do that because the audience split. You have a bunch of new people that probably don't donate. One thing I noticed about the woke crowd, they're cheap. You know, they don't donate, they don't get involved, they don't watch videos, but they will be like this guy, Idiot Loser. This is my personal favorite. He had a meltdown. So Comment Cop posts this, right?
Yeah.
And Idiot Loser is like one of my followers. I usually argue with him for entertainment every so often. Why don't you leave these poor women alone? You scrotumless dorks. She did a podcast 2 weeks ago. She put all that shit out there. This was a dead fucking issue till about 2 weeks ago when it got brought up again on their podcast. They were free to die and go into oblivion. But the only thing that gets them any sort of attention is when they mention this disaster. They're making, I mean, my thing with Idiot Loser, if it was somebody he didn't like, then it would be okay.
Is this like an actual person or is this just a random footer?
No, he's not around. No, I've known him for years. He
Oh.
watches us.
Okay.
And he's a fan, kind of. He's a real hard-on for Mudahar. I don't know why. But one thing has in common is he doesn't like when you go after woke people.
Right.
And I told him, it's 2 weeks, she's done this to herself. And like, this isn't a hit piece. This is her words. Well, you can take solace in the fact that she fooled us all. That's.
I, for one, feel fooled.
Yeah, I know. God. Oh. God.
Do you have a clip of that?
The hornet's nest. Anisa won't stop kicking me.
It's a shame because iDubbbz had like that Babe Ruth or that Martin Scorsese status, you know, that legend.
Oh God, he
as
pissed
the new
that away.
guys were coming in, yeah, and it's kind of gone.
Like even
That
if
Enigma's gone.
let's say PewDiePie, he stopped uploading and he still gets 1 million views, which I don't know how he pulled it off because he doesn't upload it. But PewDiePie's always fucking legend. Even Boogie's kind of still a legend. He'll still have that, you know. Well, he'll be one of the top guys 10 years ago. You know, he'll always have that. He was one of the top guys, and he's a big cock, whether he deserves that or not.
But it's like, remember back when, like around the time when I started watching this community, everybody was like, "Oh man, if there was another content cop,
yeah,
oh,
sure,
man."
I was one of them.
Yeah,
I was one of
and
them.
now that's dead. Like no one wants another content.
If it might break him free from this spell, I'd want it.
No one
If there's a
wants
chance.
what they think that version of content cop would be now.
I'll tell you right now,
I'll take it.
if they switch gears, I think artists peak, like bands, like athletes.
Yeah, we've seen it when me and you are kind of older. We've seen this happen with like steady artists all throughout history.
Artists peak.
Listen,
hit
I'm
their
no
peak,
brainiac,
and
Matt,
they
but I'm
fall.
telling you
You
right
do
now,
your
a
best
content cop in
work.
2024 would be better than squirrels. I can guarantee you that right now.
You do your best, most genius work in your mid-20s, right? And it just, if you're lucky, it slowly slips off after that.
And there's always for people that peak in their 20s when they're successful. There's always that frustration because they are better in their 30s, but they can never get back to their 20s. They're more talented in their 30s.
Yeah, more interesting in their 20s.
Yeah,
more interesting.
Matt, if he were to make, even if it would be shit and totally debunked and full of bullshit, if he made a content cop on Sam Hyde right now and dropped it at the end of this year, it'd be more entertaining than anything he's made in the last 2 years.
That would be, but he'd also get ratioed.
Yeah, you'd get destroyed.
Oh, for sure. But you're talking about being entertaining and like who wants it. People would want to watch.
Oh, I definitely want
a fucking content cop.
But I also want him to get destroyed.
But would you agree that people are not as looking forward to it as they were in say?
Oh no, he did. I mean, he was.
Yeah, we're not in 2016, man. I'm aware of that. I know we're not time traveling back into 2016. Thanks for confirming that.
Well, I think he's a little like Clown, where he like the perfect video, and I think Nick got this way a little bit. They always want to top, and if they don't feel like they can top it, it kind of goes away, and then you just you do something else. Clown did a podcast and goes on other people's podcasts and whatever. Clown certainly does. I don't think I'm being disrespectful of my friend. He doesn't have the influence that he once did. He has legend status, but it's not going to pay the bills. Legend, yes, Boogie. Pay some bills, I guess, but not all of them. And I think iDubbbz is probably kind of like that. But Clown didn't, fall for some e-girl and, didn't believe this e-girl was smart and had something worth saying, Like, what he should have done is he should have went to @TommyC SFTP, clicked on media, and then clicked on this.
Is experimenting on 10 children to obtain a cure for thousands of kids' lives justified? That's a really hard question, and I think if people are being 100% honest, they'd give you a different answer than what you're expecting. As terrible as the Holocaust was, obviously it was horrendous, and how disgusting the doctor was that did the experiments on people. Gay people, handicaps, twins. I think that's. And obviously, they were obviously Jewish, or they did it on Jewish people. They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experimentation.
I love that.
NASA.
I have this fucking clip in a folder, and I just send it out every time she gets to the news. I fucking
God, it's been so long. I forgot that she used to look like normal,
like a girl. Okay, fine, you N-words. Win new content cop tomorrow. I'll be on Anisa. That would be awesome.
Tommy, do you know who else made that point that Anisa just made?
What?
That we just watched?
Boogie. Yeah, years ago. It's an urban legend. Here's the thing, right? This is an urban legend I heard repeated when I was growing up, right? And maybe when I was 11. I may have believed it, but then, I got really into ghosts and stuff like that. And if you get the ghosts, you automatically get into urban legends, right? And you start to realize, like one of the first tip-offs here is there's a lot of great experiments. Can you name one? No, but I heard bingo, right? This is an old urban legend. I don't think she said this in any kind of malice. I don't think Boogie said it in any kind of malice, right? I just think they're stupid.
Dude, you know what happened, right? Joe Rogan said it on a podcast. They're all copying his talking point because
he said it. He said it years ago.
Yeah,
it did run through conspiracy. He actually said it unironically.
I think so. I like one of those things where he's high and he's having a conversation.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
well, at least he was.
Fucked up. The Nazis invented NASA, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Nazis, experiment on the Jews. That was really unfortunate. But the content legends, we wouldn't have that. Or some shit like that.
We wouldn't have gotten to the moon if it wasn't for the destruction.
Well, I think what happened with him is it's somewhere along the line in his fucking 40s. Joe learned how to critically think.
Yeah.
I don't expect teenagers to know how to critically think. I expect adults.
Well,
and especially in today's day and age, somebody tells you, they developed some pretty amazing stuff from things learned in the Holocaust. I don't know about you. When I hear something that crazy, there's two things I'll do. I'll just ignore it and keep it in the back of my mind, never to use it again. Or I'll be like, I hate this person, and I'll look this. When somebody says something I don't believe that I hate, I always look it up immediately, right? And just like, is there any truth to this? And I'll just pop up as generic urban legend.
Yeah. Well, it's used as a point to like try and say like good things can happen from bad incidents. The problem is they don't really know the backstory.
Well, there's better examples for that are true. I want to. The Stanford experiment's probably a good example of that. That one where the guy gets the shocks, or pretends to get the shocks. Something good came from that. Like the most, all the studies or experiments in psychology. And I had my psych teacher tell me this, that were banned because they were deemed unethical after the fact, after they learned why they were unethical. Because the idea is not to hurt anybody. So you do the shock thing, and you tell somebody they're shocking this guy to death. That's unethical now. It wasn't at the time, but they learned all the stuff that's like the most unethical yields the most fruit.
Yeah.
That's not murdering people systematically. Nothing was learned. Absolutely nothing was learned by those maniacs. They learned the kid screams when they cut his dick off. Or something. That's what they learned. Like large amounts of machine guns will wipe out an entire French town. That's what they learned. All right. And I just love this for some reason.
I think that's, and obviously they're obviously Jewish.
She says it was such a stain, right?
Or they did it on Jewish people. They found a couple of really groundbreaking discoveries through that experiment.